difficult, shouldn't be, because we're dealing with fractions, decimals, and percents. Now, I'm not going to insult your intelligence, and I'm going to just, you're probably talking about 1 or 2 questions on the test, so I'm not really concerned about people failing this part of the test, but I do want you to make sure you're aware of the fractions, decimals, and percents. Okay? I think this is in line. Okay? While I'm at it, that means that today is what? Wednesday?
Yes, sir.
That means that Friday we probably are going to be going over the Unit 1 test. So that means that next week your Unit 1 test is going to be due sometime. When I go over the Unit 1 test, I will give you the dates for the test and the what? And the homework. So that way some of y'all that run around in circles, confused and acting like the sky is falling, you will have your dates. You finally will have your dates. Now, most of you should have your homework done up until 10.1, and some of you, if you did your 10.1 homework already, that's great. All you got to do is just wait for the test. We'll go over the test probably Friday, if I don't get a lot of homework questions. Then that means I will give you a date during the next week. I always give you the next day to send in homework questions. So that means chances are your homework will probably be due that next Monday. Somebody give me that date, please.
February 3rd.
February 3rd?
There we go.
Okay, so I usually cut the homework off one meeting day after I've gone over the test. That gives y'all one class period to send in what? Homework questions. So I give y'all one day, for that's for the procrastinators that wait till the last minute to do all the homework. But I'm not going to cover, I go from 10.1 in reverse. So the people that are doing what they're supposed to, I usually get their questions first. And if I get to the 5.1s, so be it. You're the ones that waited till the last minute. I'm not going to worry about y'all. The test. And I'm going to go over this again Friday if I go over the test Friday. If I don't go over the test Friday, when do you think I'll go over the test if I don't go over it Friday? Monday, and everything's moved a day after the next day. You see what I'm saying? So this is tentative. So somebody's going to go home and have a fit because they think they just chill out, people. All right. You have 3 attempts. I think 3. I can't remember. I think it's 3 attempts. And what I do, I take the what grade? I take the highest grade. Okay. You have 1 week. Sometimes I give you 5 days. Sometimes I give you 7 days, depending on if the weekends fall in there. Okay? 5 or 7 days. Do you take this in class or do you take it on your time? Your time. That's the whole purpose of doing it. And I usually give you 90 minutes to take the test. Therefore, that takes care of anybody that says they need more time. I'm only supposed to give you 50 minutes, but I give you 90. Short answer, no, I give you open answer, which is just like your homework. You've seen your homework. That's where I pull the questions from. So if you've done your homework, then you'll be familiar with the questions. The percentages I've already told you. Let's see. Let me erase the top. The percentages, 5.3 and 5.6. 5.3 and 5.6 will make up probably 60 to 70% of your test. 5.1, 5.2, actually 5.2 is incorporated into 5.3 and 5.6, and 5.1 is incorporated into 5.3. Technically, you're already doing it, but, and what else? 10.1, that's going to be the rest. So if I give you 10 questions, 6 to 7 of them is going to be from 5.3 and 5.6, and 2 to 3 of them are going to be from 5.1, 5.2, and 10.1. Capiche? So everybody should have, and all you panic attackers, you should be okay now. You're getting close to a date. So hopefully you can wait until that date and do all your homework. Okay, I'm not, you don't have to write this. Fractions, decimals, and percents. That's what you should be able to do. I'm not going to have you write all that. First of all, I'm going to go ahead and show you the 2 type problems I'm worried about. I want you to make sure you can do a sentence problem. And I want you to be able to do the Walmart equation. And I say the Walmart equation, that's something I came up with when I first started teaching. Okay? The sentence problem has to do with your is of percent over what? 100. Most of you should remember that from some previous math class. Okay, I'm going to put that in a little cloud because you should highlight it. That's what you need to know. And a sentence problem looks like this. 30% of what number is 5? 20% of 75 is what number? What percent of 25 is 3? These are all sentence type problems. You've seen them before, correct? Yeah. If you haven't, you will. And what do you do with them? You plug and chug. I'm going to give you an example. 30% goes in the 30 spot. Of what number? Of is X. And is what? Solve for X. 500 is equal to 30X. Divide by 30. Divide by 30. X is equal to 50 over 3, and reduce that however you want to. I'm not going to worry about that. Okay? You should be able to reduce that. So 30% of, well, 3 will go into 51 times 17. 17. 30% of 17 is 5. Whatever that comes out to be. So that's one type problem. The second type problem is the Walmart equation. I'll write it down for you if you don't know it, which I doubt you do because I'm the only one that does it. X plus or minus percentage X is equal to the total. Now, I tell students this is good when you want to find the original price of something, or you can do it with taxes and tips. Now, the student that invented, what is that?
It was my phone, I'm sorry.
Oh, I thought that was this phone right here. That's what I was asking. Now, the students that invented all of this, they go, oh, well, I can do any percentage problem with it is percent over 100. Not really, you can't. Okay? And I'll show you one that you can't do, but I'm going to give you a second to write that down. The Walmart equation is right here. Highlight that because that's what I want you to be able to use. Those two things right there is what I'm going to test you on. And if you already know how to do them, then you're good to go. So since I've got a clear board, I'm going to go ahead and give you an example. I've already given you an example of a sentence problem. Now I'm going to give you an example of the Walmart equation. Got it? Yep. All right, here we go. Let me erase that one. There we go. I have no idea what these slides are going to show, and I really want to make sure I get the most important things in first. Let's say you buy a shirt. You got a shirt, and that shirt, whatever, and you got a tag, and you don't know what the price of the tag is. Okay, but it's on a thing. Oh, you know, I work at Walmart. It's on the main action alley, and it's got a sign on it. Of course, everything at Walmart is 20% off. But we're going to say it's 27% off. And you go up to the scanner. They got the scanners like at Target. And you scan it, and it scans for $28.30. Y'all with me?
Yes, sir.
I want to know the original price. Take a minute and do that. Because some of y'all are going to try to do it by is percent over 100, you're going to get it wrong. So I'm just doing this just to show you that you don't know what you think you know. So go ahead and do that. And then we'll do it the correct way. And don't make fun of my table. It's two-dimensional. It's not three-dimensional. We called them bins when I worked at Walmart. They'll still call it main action alley. Anybody work at Walmart or Target? Okay, y'all don't work anywhere? Okay. I worked at Walmart when Walmart was the Target. Back then when I worked, everybody loved Walmart then. Now it's depressing to go to Walmart. If it ain't at Ingles or at Highway 24 Walgreens, it's at, or Amazon, I don't get it. It's either that or hit somebody, and I really don't want to hit anybody. I got a phone call from somebody the other day that said they were pulling out of the parking lot and they couldn't get off the brake enough, and somebody was honking their horn behind them and raising their hands up going like that. I couldn't deal. Take that 1911 out, shoot the tires out. I ain't got no use in stuff like that. I mean, are you that important? I mean, the only person I can think of that's important, that they're that important, is maybe a senator or a congressman or maybe president of the United States. Maybe that important. But Podunk, Billy Bob Redneck in Anderson County? No, you're not that important. So anyway, they were fussing because They were just letting off the brake. They couldn't let off the brake fast enough. And they were getting fussed at by somebody behind them. That don't happen at Amazon. And it hadn't happened to me yet out of Ingles or Walgreens. So as long as it don't happen, it's going to be okay. All right, somebody tell me X. All right, what happens here? What off? What does that mean? Positive or negative?
Negative.
Negative. X minus percent 0.27x is equal to what? 28.3. And that's going to be 0.73x is equal to 28.3. Don't you dare ask it. Don't you dare. Don't you say it. Don't you ask me where 0.73 come from. You should know. 0.73. 0.73. I tell you what. There, I'll add that. Maybe that'll help you. All right, somebody take your calculator out and divide 28.3 by 0.73. Somebody do that for me. Tell me what you get.
38.76.
So the original price, did everybody get that?
Yes.
The original price of the shirt, now we can put a tag on it, is $38.76. Now, let me show you what the people that think they know what they do and what they'll say. Well, you can take the 27% off of the 28.30 and add it back, or multiply the 27% times the 28.30 and then add it back. Can't do it, you're going to get it wrong every time. So, you can go with your way on the test, or you can go with my way. I guarantee you my way is going to be right. You can't back in what you don't know. All right? You can't take 28.30, multiply it by 0.27, and add it back. You can't do that. But you can try it if you want to. So, if you get $39, if you got $39, you're right. $38.76. Let's do another one. Let's say you go to dang old Outback. That's my favorite restaurant. I don't go anymore. Unless there's nobody there. We might go on Monday night. Let's go with drinks. Dang old ice water. Appetizer. Dang old food. Dang old bill comes up to, the final bill with gratuity comes up to $78.34. And you circled 20%, 25%, 25% gratuity. What was the cost of the food and the drinks? So this is your second Walmart equation, so go ahead. I want you to plug it in, but you got to remember, what is a tip compared to a discount? Positive, good. X plus or minus percentage X is equal to the total. Now in this case, you could add, because you're not subtracting, you're adding. And adding is commutative. So you could probably do this one. But it's easier just to do it like this. So go ahead, try it out. Or you could just quit. Be a disappointment. Black sheep. Told the class I was a black sheep in my family, and I told somebody came up to me after class and said they were offended. Because I used the word black in a negative connotation.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I said, well, what do you call a sheep that's not white? That doesn't matter. Most of your sheep are black or white. They're not. Have a gray sheep. I said, what do you call that thing in space that has no matter in it?
Black hole.
A non-colored hole. I don't understand why people get offended. I just don't. I never have been one of those people that put a lot into name calling. So it's a whole.
You got a lot of
simple-minded idiot. I'll say, well, I guess if I'm an idiot, I said, I guess that's not the worst thing I could be. I mean, I really don't. I was always brought up sticks and stones, you know. What'd you say? I heard somebody say something.
You got a lot of simple-minded people.
Yeah, I think that's true. I mean, personally, I don't go around trying to offend people, but some of them are just trigger happy / I don't know. I am trigger happy. I am that, but I'm not trigger happy like offending people. I have to clean my weapons like every week because I love to go out there and just shoot things. You can't be a terrorist, you know, if you don't like shooting. So here we go. X what? Plus or minus? Plus 0.25x is equal to 78.34. 1.25x is equal to 78.34. Somebody take your handy dandy calculator and divide by 1.25. That's not rhetorical. I want y'all to communicate.
$62.67.
62.67. Is that what everybody else got?
Sure.
And you feel good about yourself. Now you could, on that one, do is of percent over 100. You'd have to do a couple of steps and you'd have to subtract. But the whole point is, you've got to realize why. Because this one is commutative, because it's adding. See, x plus 0.25. And that's why you could do this by is of percent over 100. You can't do the other one because it's subtraction, and you have to do at least 2 or 3 or more steps before you can get the answer, or you can just do it in one step using the Walmart equation. The rest of them you can do with is of percent over 100. So let's see what they show us. Because as far as I'm concerned, I'm done. Because that's the only thing I'm going to test you on. I might test you on something simple, like write 0.25 as a fraction or something. I mean, that's not very difficult. So let's see what they're going to teach us. Percent means percentum. Write this down. This is a standardized test question. Per means over. And centum means what? Dang, 100. I'm sorry, 100. Belton.
This is a test question?
Well, it's not my test question, it's standardized. Per centum means over 100. Or per 100, if you are from Powdersville. Or Greenville.
In our last class, we were doing speech class, and it reminded me, this chick got up there and said that she was born and raised in Westminster.
Westminster?
Yeah, but she was born and raised there.
Like a preacher. Dang old Westminster. It's Westminster. You don't even hear an I in it. And I ain't even from there. I know that because I know a lot of people from there, and they don't like it when you say Westminster. They say, where's that? It must be near Belton. I'm from Belton. Yeah, you're not from Belton. You wouldn't say Belton. You'd say B-E-L-T-N. There ain't no O in Belton. It's B-L-T-E. Or E-N. You put an E in it. Just like honeypath. No, it's honeypath.
I'm from a place called Chapin, and some people say Chapin.
Yeah. Yeah, I've heard people call it. And
Chapin.
and if you live in Cheddar, we got a township in Anderson, and people call it Cheddar. Or vice versa. I think that's funny. So 15% is 15 over what? 100. Make sure you can divide a fraction, make a fraction into a percent by actually doing the dividing or moving the decimal point 2 places to the what? Right, when you multiply. Divide, you move it 2 places to the what? Left. So that's 0.67. How many times will 20 go into 100? So we multiply the top by 5 and the bottom by 5. I show students this, and they think that I just invented sliced bread. Multiply by 5 over 5, and that's 55 over 100, which is equal to point what? 0.55. Students actually, instead of using their head, they punch that in a calculator. You're not supposed to punch 11 over 20 in a calculator. You're supposed to multiply both the top and the bottom by 5 to get a what on the bottom? To get 100 on the bottom, and then you can just move the decimal 2 places to the left. That's how you're supposed to do mathematics. You're not supposed to use a calculator to turn the head of a screw. You're not supposed to use a calculator to wash windows. You're not supposed to use a calculator for everything in your life. I'm preaching, I'm sorry. This one, I would suggest doing it by longhand or a calculator. You can't divide 16 by 3 though. So I would divide that. You know it's close to 1 because closer, dang old 15/16 inch. Okay, 15/16. Some of y'all know what I'm talking about. The closer this one is to this one, the closer you are to 1 unit. 7/8 is smaller than 15/16 as far as a wrench goes. So somebody crank that out. Somebody give me a decimal here. 16 won't go into 100, will it? I don't think so. So that one you do on a calculator. What is it? All right, some of y'all were on the calculator drill team in high school. Y'all can go a whole lot faster than that. What is it? Say it one more time.
0.9375.
0.9375. That's good enough for government work. So you see, I told you to use a calculator when you need to use a calculator. You don't use a calculator to take the square root of 25. Because if you do that all the time, you aren't going to be able to spell race car backwards, and you aren't going to be able to function. Some of y'all are spelling race car backwards right now. Okay, and that's that. And see, they did it a different way, but they still got 0.55. And this one, that's pretty much, there ain't much you could do there, except use long division or a calculator. Change decimal, you multiply or move 2 places to the right. What's this one? 14%. What's this one? 89.3%, Hubert. Thank you, class. What's this one? 76.25%. So again, I'm not going to sit here and make you do these. We're just going to go over them. You can do them on the homework and send them to me. I'll be glad to go over them. But I would much rather the squeaky door gets what? OIL or grease or WD-40. Your parents suck if they haven't taught you that, okay? The squeaky door gets the grease. I would much rather present this to you and you send me questions if you what? If you need it, because I don't want to insult anybody's intelligence by having to go into a lengthy presentation on how to change 2 decimal places to the right, especially after we've been through scientific notation. 76.25%. No coughing in class. You're not sick. To change a percent to a decimal number, move the place to the left. 35 is 0.35. 69.8 is 0.698. 1/2 is 0.5. How do you know that? Well, the 1 is half of 2. 4 is half of 8. 5 is half of 10. That's how you get 0.5. 0.35, 0.698, and 0.5. Okay, 0.5%. I'm sorry. Yes, which means 0.005. I'm sorry. I messed up there. All right, so you move the decimal place 2 places to the left. Oh, write this down. This is very important. This is on my test as well as standardized test. And don't write this down. Write new minus old over old multiplied by 100. New minus old over old multiplied by 100. I'm going to give you an example. You bought a shirt for $20.34. You with me? 2 days later, you bought the same shirt, just a different color, for $40.32. What was the price decrease or increase? Look for it. Price increase / decrease? Question mark. Well, which one's old? This one's old. This one's what? What's the opposite of old? New. Plug and chug. Do it. Anytime you're given 2 prices, 2 populations, 2 ages, anytime you're given a new and an old, they're going to ask for the price increase or decrease, percent change, whatever. And that's when you just use new minus old over old times 100. It may come out negative. It may come out positive. You don't erase it. You don't erase the sign, because negative means what?
It went down.
Decrease, down. Increase means positive. So that's going to be 4032 minus 2034 over 2034 multiplied by 100. Somebody give me that number. Just give me to the hundreds, because this is money, so we always round to the 100. 98.23. Is it positive or negative? So that means it's a 98% what? Increase. So make sure you can do one of these. This is considered like the other 2 questions. The Walmart equation and the is a percent over 100. This is considered one of those. I forgot they put that in here. In other words, I'm probably going to ask you a word problem type question in these, except for the sentence question. It'll just be a sentence. I'm not going to ask you to change a decimal into a percent or a percent into a decimal or anything like that. I probably won't, unless I just feel sorry for you, and I just want you to make a good grade. Okay? I'm not going to do this one. I'm just going to see if there's anything else. Most improved, okay, new minus old over old. So this is improved baseball team. So 98 games minus 78 games over 78 games. We'll go back and look at the question. Oops, I'm sorry. There it is. If you want to write it down, don't write it down word for word. Major League Baseball team with the most improved record, Los Angeles Angels. The Angels won 78 in 2013. 2014, they won 98. So 98 minus 78 over 78. So that's a 26% increase. How do I know it's the increase? Because it's what, Hubert? It's positive. Yes, that's right. If it was negative 25.6, that would be 26% what? Decrease, Hubert. Thank you, person that mumbled and person that answered. Thank you. I heard one say decrease, and I heard the other one say, Go ahead and write this down for yourself and for a standardized test. I don't think I put any of these on the test, but it kind of follows along the same line as new minus old over old. The selling price is the new, the dealer's cost is the old, so it's kind of the same thing. So this is when you go into a jewelry store, guys. You go into a jewelry store and they say, you know what? We like you. You're our friend. So we're going to knock 70% off this ring. What do they neglect to tell you? They marked it up 200%. So even if they knock 70%, you're still paying 130% over cost. You see what I'm saying? So don't believe, two people you don't believe. You don't believe a car salesman, and you never believe a person in a jewelry store because they're lying to you. Okay? Yeah, they're going to knock 70% off, but they marked it up 200%. So, Holdren Hardware Store pays $48.76 for a glass fireplace screen, screens. They regularly sell them for $78. So that's new minus old over old. Okay? At a sale, they tell them, okay, the percent markup on the regular price would be 79 minus 48 over 48. And then the percent markup on the sale price, at a sale, they sell them for 69. So that would be 69 minus 48 over 48. So it's new minus old over old. So there's that one. 63% markup. So that person is making 64% profit. Is that pretty good? Yeah, it's real good. Anything over 10%. It's real good. So even if he puts it on sale, I like you, so So I'm going to knock it down to $70 because I like you. Still a 44% markup. Knowledge is what? Knowledge is power. And you may think this is real simple, but I guarantee you if you gave this a question to a lot of high school graduates, I doubt very seriously half of them would even be able to do it. Melissa wishes to buy a condominium home for $189,000. To obtain the mortgage loan, she must pay 20% of the selling price as a down payment. Determine the amount. Okay, now you should not even need a calculator for this. Somebody tell me what 10% of $189,000 is. Okay. How about 18,900? What do you do when you want 10% of something? You drop one of the zeros. So what is, if I drop a zero off of 189,000, what did I come up with?
18,900.
Okay, that's 10%. So if 18,900 is 10%, what would 20% be? 37,800. $37,800. Or you could multiply 0.2 times 189,000. But you should be able to do this in your head. Some of you, and I don't mean this, some of you guys can do it, but a lot of females can do it. Take 20% off of an item in the store. They say, okay, that item's $5, then that would be $5, 10% of $5 is 50 cents. So that'd be 50 and 50 is 20%. That'd be $1 off. A lot of people do that in their heads. Again, that's called critical thinking. She's got to pay $38,000 just to get the house. That's it. Question, gripe, complaint.
I need you to go over something real quick. It's real easy. I don't remember ever doing it before.
What's that?
So it's saying to express 7/8% as a decimal. I don't think I've ever had to do that before.
Divide 8 into 7. Long division. Hold on, I'll do it. Hold on just a second. Let me go to my whiteboard, my handy dandy whiteboard.
Jesus.
Yeah, I could leave that on the board if you want me to. 7 divided by 8. Whatever I cover, whatever comes up on the board, y'all are responsible for. 8 into 7. And I'm going to go ahead and add a couple of zeros because I know 8 won't go into 7. So 8 will go into 70 how many times? 8 times 8 is 64. Do subtraction, it leaves 6. And then basically you're just going to keep going until you stop or until you see it repeating and put a bar over it. So 8 will go into 60, what? 7 times? Ain't that 56? And then 4. So 0.875, which is 87.5 what? Percent. So that's how you change it. Comprende? And just send them to me. And like I say, I think it's a whole lot better for me in 10.1 to present it. And then if y'all send me 25 questions, I'll go over every single one of them. But y'all could be, as a class, y'all could be up to snuff on all your, and you could not send me one. And if you don't send me one, we just save the whole class period going over stuff that we don't need to go over. See what I'm saying? Now, I don't do that with scientific notation because usually everybody sucks at science. Not a lot of people suck at, is a percent over 100. All right, I'll shut up because some of y'all are going to go into convulsions if I don't stop because I got like 10 minutes. But anyway, let me go. Probably doesn't log me out. UX University. Let's see. No assertions found. It does that does this do this with y'all's class and that's it? I don't do it in my other classes. And then, that's another thing. If y'all get an email saying that y'all have been absent from class, just ignore it. Y'all know why y'all been absent from class? I can't put in the attendance, and I go back and I forget to put it in, and I'm not really worried about it because I think it's stupid in college anyway. So I just want y'all to ignore it, okay? I guess I'm going to have to get out and log back in. Let me try that. Hold on. Stupid. So we'll take y'all to the restroom after class, line y'all up, and then we'll have recess. But nobody can get out of the line. If you get out of the line, I'm going to put y'all in the corner.
The little rope to hold on to.
Yeah, everybody holds on to everybody holds hand. We're going to go to the restroom first, and then after we go to the restroom, everybody get a drink of water, and then we're going to take y'all outside.
In my elementary school, they made you stand 2 tiles away from the wall and then walk.
Dude, Sam.
Y'all get out of here. I'm not gonna work on something that don't work. So if you get something that says you're absent.